destination is the stars.
This is a reading from Haunted, a Sparkly Badgers anthology, edited by Claire Buss and Brent A. Harris, and read by Jon Meszaros. Lonesome Conscious World by S. Shane Thomas. Conscious awareness came in its earliest moments of existence. Smaller celestial bodies still coalesced in the space around it. Rock and ice constantly smashed its molten surface in the first days. Perhaps one such asteroid brought the sense of self, and perhaps the unique commingling caused the phenomenon. The planet became aware first of its own formation, and contentment at the mere sensation of being captivated its mind for thousands of years. Only when its surface cooled and land masses arose above placid waters did the notion of other living things occur. The thinking world stretched its awareness to the nearest object that exerted gravity upon it, but the lonely moon could not reciprocate greeting. Never having encountered life outside itself, notions of death and inanimate objects remained unknown. Awareness probed further out until it encountered a handful of its brothers. Life was confirmed under the swirling gas of some and the warm rocks of others. Life, but no sense of oneself or others. The thinking world grew to understand the concept of its identity, and named itself Illum. It reveled in the torrents of the mighty star, whose chaos and energy blazed beyond understanding, yet acknowledgement of Illum's presence never occurred. Uncounted revolutions around the star passed. Illum delighted in the presence of plant and animal life on its surface and the depths of its oceans. The lonely world came to understand that life alone did not signify awareness of self and the capacity for abstract thought. A tiny metal husk approached Illum, and the sensation it caused broke the world from its deep meditation. Tiny thoughts flitted about in frenzy. Not one, but thousands. Thoughts, awareness, and ideas so rapid and so alien that Illum idled in stunned contemplation. Perhaps beings within the metal husk possessed awareness? A sliver of the husk slid onto Illum's surface, and a handful of the thinking beings scurried about. Illum reached out to them in a slow, clumsy attempt to greet its visitors. Before a thought could be shared, each being had thousands of its own thoughts, and the entire group returned to their sliver and back inside the metal husk. Illum delighted as the entire husk slid through its atmosphere and came to rest upon its surface. Years passed as the lonely planet contemplated how to commune with the tiny, rapid, and brilliant colonists from other stars. A girl screamed in horror at the sight of her grandfather, who seemed to rise from his grave. She dropped the flowers and bolted out of the cemetery, all the way to the nearest Colonial Security Force station. Her late grandfather turned his head and watched her run. He had been enriched and revitalized by Illum's soil, and his life essence restored by the lonely planet. When the human colony's first funeral deposited the man into the soil, Illum restored his fading awareness, and over a few weeks the late man and lonely world learned to speak with one another. No longer human, the grandfather consisted mostly of soil, a mound from the waist down. Illum and the late grandfather twisted their head to look at two uniformed men who rushed towards them with guns in hand. "I told you this would startle her," the grandfather said. "I can be patient," Illum replied, through the grandfather's mouth. "I've hoped for companions a long time."